It can be so frustrating to go through the entire mortgage process and then find out that your closing is delayed. But almost everyone has either gone through that or knows someone that's had one of these nightmare closings where things get delayed. What if there were certain things that you could prepare for, that if you knew up front, it would help avoid the major reasons for closings getting delayed? Well, in our lesson today, that's what I want to cover. The top reasons why closings get delayed, and what you can do to make sure your next real estate or mortgage transaction is smooth and easy.
Why are there so many closing delays?
Getting a mortgage or buying a home is not the same as buying a pair of sunglasses off of Amazon. You can just go in and click a button and get a mortgage. I know that certain lenders would like you to think that it's that simple, but it's not. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So I'm talking about you've got appraisals that need to get done and reviewed. You have verifications like employment verifications, assets. We have to look at your documents. There's all these different pieces of the puzzle and different people involved in each. And because of that, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a million things that could go wrong in any mortgage transaction because there's so many different pieces to that puzzle. And at the same time, there's different parties. We've got buyers, sellers, attorneys, inspectors, appraisers, all these other people. That's just like a list of not even half of the people involved.
Can you go through some of the most common deadlines on a home purchase contract?
So the first one is going to be, if you're doing an inspection, there's going to be an inspection deadline. Normally, it's like 7 to 10 days after the contract is done that you'll have to inspect the property. The next deadline you want to be aware of is the mortgage contingency deadline. So this is going to be a date when your mortgage needs to be ready for closing. Usually it's around 30 days, maybe 20 days, depending on the transaction after that inspection is complete. The last date, and probably the most important date, is the closing date. So depending on the contract, who does it, and the type of contract, sometimes it'll just give a closing date and time. Sometimes it'll say on or before a certain closing date. My experience is, because my company, we get loans ready to close quickly. So a lot of the time we'll be pleading and asking the seller if we can close early.
But what would you say are some of the top reasons why refinancing closings are delayed?
The main reasons why are going to be appraisal delays or issues. Another thing that I see a lot is title issues. I would say the most common issue is an old discharge missing. Happens so often, you wouldn't believe it. Another thing that comes up is old liens on the title. So there might be like a tax lien or a water lien or sewer or something that just came up in the last several months. You may not even know about it. But I think the biggest thing people need to realize is that in a mortgage transaction, through the process, we're peeling the onion back. Sometimes something new comes up and new documents get asked for, new questions get asked, new concerns come up.
What are your top tips to helping buyers avoid closing delays?
So top tips to help you avoid delays on your next closing. Number one, respond to document requests or information requests from your lender as soon as possible. Next thing is, don't hide anything. Disclose everything to your loan officer up front at the time of the application. Any and everything that you can tell them about your finances, your scenario, what you're looking to accomplish, the more the better. That's going to help them design the right loan and make sure that the loan meets the guidelines so you don't have last minute issues. And the last thing is that you want to communicate things that will affect the loan approval as we progress.
How can a homeowner who is looking at, or maybe is even already in the process of refinancing, avoid the most common closing delays that you've heard of?
Number one is have all of your documents available and ready, prepared up front. The next thing is disclosures. So when you're starting your refinance process, your lender's going to send you your mortgage disclosures. They're typically going to be sent electronically. These are the disclosures on what the loan is going to entail, all of the government disclosures, the numbers, the payment estimates, closing costs, etc. The next thing is appraisals. So in the case that an appraisal is needed on your property while refinancing, you really want to get that appraiser in there as soon as possible. And the last thing is that additional document requests are probably going to be required.
Rob, can you talk about how the professional relationship between real estate agents, mortgage lenders, even the closing attorneys, they can all be enhanced or even tarnished based on these delays?
Deadlines are key, as we're discussing. So missed deadlines can mean bad vibes between people. It can mean, not getting a commission for a realtor on time. When those deadlines are unavoidable, people feel a lot less stressed. They feel a lot better knowing a solution's already in place. We already have our plan B, so to speak, and we can continue to move forward in the process. There are delays. What I've heard a lot of lenders do is they'll stop answering their phone. They won't answer their email. They'll hide scared rather than tackle the issue at hand. And that causes a really bad situation and a bad reputation with the others in the process. If we can tackle that, explain, here it is, here's how it happened, here's why it happened, here's the solution. And when you take that solutions-based approach to these delays and problems, everyone ends up just feeling a lot better at the end of the day. And all my partners at the end of a closing, they got a smile on their face, they're extremely pleased, they're not stressed, and they're ready to do it again.
So then what are some of the best practices around, surrounding communication that you can use with your clients and partners to ensure a smooth process?
Number one is emails need to be returned within 1 to 2 hours. Number two is texting between groups. The last thing that I'm doing right now that my realtor partners absolutely love is the portal. So we use a portal called Flowify. What the portal does is it's a central location where the loan status can be tracked and everyone can see where we're at in the process as milestones are hit. See, if you just know this information up front, knowledge is power, and you can ensure that your transaction goes off without a hitch. You just have to have this information and education. That's what we're here for. If it's your first time watching the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, smash the bell so you get notified on all of our new content we're putting out every single week. And if I can be of assistance to you or anyone that you know, I do offer private consultations. You can reach me by call, text, or private message. 860-413-3938. And as always, I hope that helps and you found value in our lesson today, and I'll see you next time. Take care.